Hello, Beatle friends, and hello to everybody else watching. Hope you all are doing wonderful today. Welcome to another Beatles vinyl collection video. In this video, I'm going to show you the Beatles EPs that were released in England back in the 60s. All of these are going to be the original UK pressings that were pressed during the 60s. And I'm going to show you a 2014 Record Store Day exclusive of one of the EPs. And for fun, I'm going to show you a record that's from the 1981 Blue Box set. Before I begin showing you the Beatles British EPs, I want to talk about why I wanted to do this video. Originally, I was going to do a video showing all of the Beatles UK singles that I currently have in my collection, because I bought some of the original pressings of some of the singles at my local record store. When I pulled the singles out of the singles box that I have where I store my 45s, I went through all of them to make sure I have everything, but unfortunately I noticed that I'm missing two of the original UK Beatles 45s. They are Hello Goodbye and Lady Madonna. I'm in the process of getting Lady Madonna, and I will show it in an update video. I'm working on Hello Goodbye at this time. I'm also working on getting an upgrade of Something, the UK original 45 of Something. And I want to get the first variation of All You Need Is Love without the Our World TV reference on the label. After I noticed that I was missing the two singles, I decided to hold off on the Beatles singles collection video and decided I should do a video showing the original UK EPs, or the Beatles UK EPs released during the 60s, since I have all of them. Hope you enjoy seeing all these EPs, and let's get started. First one I'm going to show you is the Beatles Hits. These are the songs on this EP. From Me to You, Thank You Girl, Please Please Me, Love Me Do. And now this is copy number 1. I have another copy to show you here in a little bit. And here's a label. This is the original variation of the EP. As you can see, it has recorded first published 1963, and the byline here starts with the Parlophone instead of the Gramophone Company on the later EPs, the later EPs and the later Beatles albums and singles. This one is a confirmed first pressing, and it has a matrix number. Well, side 1 has -2N and side 2 has -1N matrix numbers. And this one plays great. Alright, now to show you my second copy of this particular EP. Here's my second copy of the same EP. And this is mainly an upgrade. Better look without the sleeve, the plastic sleeve. It's got some stuff here on the top corner here, but still a nice upgrade. And here's a record, the same variation as the one I showed you, original variation. The next EP I'm going to show you is Twist and Shout. The songs on this EP are Twist and Shout, A Taste of Honey, Do You Want to Know a Secret, and There's a Place. Here's a record. The same kind of variation as the Beatles Hits, recorded and first published in the Parlophone Company. And it's got some writing on the label, but the record plays great. I like to get an upgrade of this. I'm still looking for nice upgrades of the original Beatles EPs released in England and pressed in England during the 60s. The next EP I'm going to show you is the Beatles #1. It's actually their third EP. And here are the songs. I Saw Her Standing There, Misery, Anna, Go to Him, and Chains. The first 4 songs off Please Please Me. A nice alternate shot too. Back of it. And here's a record in wonderful condition. Has a recording first published 1963 here, and the Parlophone Company Limited. This record was pressed during the 60s, I'm happy to say. And here's side 2. The next EP I'm going to show you is All My Lovin'. Back of it. The songs on this EP are All My Lovin', Ask Me Why, Money, That's What I Want, and P.S. I Love You. And here's a 45. This is not the first variation, because the first variation doesn't have the sold-in UK text on the center hole. This is the one I received first. I do have the previous variation without the sold-in UK text to show you here in a little bit. But it does have the Parlophone Company Limited and recording first published 1963. Side 2 of the EP. And this copy's in nice shape, even though it's not a first variation. Here's my second copy of the All My Lovin' EP, but without the jacket. I'm going to need to get an upgrade of the jacket too, since it's not in top condition, but it still looks nice. But anyway, back to this copy. This one doesn't have the sold-in UK text on the center hole. It does have the recording first published and the Parlophone Company Limited. And this one's in nice condition as well. The next Beatles British EP I'm going to show you, Long Tall Sally. And here are the songs. Long Tall Sally, I Call Your Name, Slow Down, Matchbox. This is another one I like to get an upgrade of, but it's not in terrible condition in any way. And this one is in mono. All the other all the previous EPs I showed you are in mono, and the next EPs I'm going to show you all the way up to Nowhere Man are going to be mono only. And when I get the Magical Mystery Tour, I'm going to show you both the stereo and mono copies of the EP. Now back to Long Tall Sally. Here's a record pressed during the 60s, an original variation, sold in UK text, the Parlophone Company Limited. Still has the recording first published. It says recording first published 1964. And this one's in nice condition. And here's a record-only copy of Long Tall Sally. Same variation, but this one doesn't have the jacket. The next copy of the Long Tall Sally EP I'm going to show you is not an original. This was a 2014 Record Store Day exclusive, released around the time of the Beatles and Mono vinyl box, when all of the Beatles mono albums were reissued on vinyl. Here's the Record Store Day reissue of Long Tall Sally. Kept the shrink on here. Here's an insert that came with the record advertising the Beatles in mono box set. Sadly, these records along with the box set itself are out of print. So if you see any copies of these that are still available, make sure to get one before they're all gone. Here's the record. This is a solid center. And here's one more copy of Long Tall Sally, the Record Store Day exclusive, and this one is sealed. The next Beatles EP I'm going to show you extracts from the film A Hard Day's Night. This EP includes 4 songs that were in the Hard Day's Night movie. I Should Have Known Better, If I Fell, Tell Me Why, and I Love Her. Someone wrote their name on the back here, but the EP looks nice. The jacket looks nice. Here's the record, the original variation. Still says The Parlophone Company Limited and recording first published 1964, sold in UK tax. And here's side 2. Here's a second copy of the same EP, extracts from the film A Hard Day's Night. And this copy is an oddity. And that's because this record here, on side 1, you have the sold in UK text variation, the original variation, with this text and recording first published 1964, The Parlophone Company Limited. But on side 2 is the common label that you see on later reissues of this EP. Now this is a nice oddity, and it doesn't use the original stampers like the other copy I showed you. But this one's nice. It's a nice copy and a nice oddity. The next EP I'm going to show you extracts from the album A Hard Day's Night. Includes 4 cuts from the British Hard Day's Night album. Anytime at All, I'll Cry Instead, Things We Said Today, When I Get Home. Not only all 4 of these songs are on the British Hard Day's Night album, all 4 of these songs are on the Something New album, except I'll Cry Instead goes on longer on the mono mix. I thought I mentioned that. It's got someone's name on here, but overall, this is a nice condition. Here's a record, original variation with the sold in UK tax, recording first published, The Parlophone Company Limited. Side 2. There's a KT tax stamp there. And this one plays great. The next EP I'm going to show you is Beatles For Sale. Includes 4 songs off the Beatles For Sale album. No Reply, I'm a Loser, Rock and Roll Music, and 8 Days a Week. They have the songs shuffled around here on the front cover. But the correct sequence of the songs is listed right here. This one's also in wonderful condition. Here's the record. Original variation with the sold in UK text once again. Parlophone Company Limited. But instead of recording first published 1964, it just shows the year. Here's side 2. The next EP I'm going to show you is Beatles For Sale #2. The jacket's not in wonderful condition. I would say it's in a good plus or VG minus. It's got some writing on here. That's one of my favorite photos of the Beatles. And here's the record. Sadly, the push-out center has been pushed out by the previous owner. But you can clearly see it is an original variation, because you can see some of the sold in UK text, the Parlophone Company, 1964, listed there. Here's my second copy of the Beatles For Sale #2 EP with the push center intact. And it is the original variation. And actually, this one has the sold in UK text, but right here it says the Gramophone Company Limited. The other one I showed you said the Parlophone Company Limited. But this one's also not in perfect condition. So this is another one I like to seek an upgrade of, and I like for it to be a first variation of the EP. But still happy to have it in my collection. The next EP I'm going to show you is the Beatles Million Sellers. This EP includes 4 of their early #1 hits. She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Can't Buy Me Love, and I Feel Fine. Back of it, also not in perfect condition, but still nice to have. And here's the record, original variation, that's sold in UK text. And you have the Gramophone Company Limited. And as you can see, it's titled Beatles Golden Hits. And it really is a Golden Hits EP, because all 4 of these songs are Golden Hits, indeed. Here's side 2. A little bit of writing on side 2 label. Here's an upgrade copy of the Beatles Million Sellers. And here's the record in much better condition. Same variation as the other one I showed you. The next EP I'm going to show you is Yesterday, an original pressing. This original pressing is one of the rarest in this collection. I paid a little bit more money for this, but I'm happy to have it. And the songs on here: Yesterday, Act Naturally, You Like Me Too Much, It's Only Love. Here's the record, original variation, sold in UK text. Side 2 label. And this one's in wonderful condition. I played a little bit of it just to check on it. And it does sound great. And I'm happy I found this for a nice price. The next Beatles EP is Nowhere Man. This one's probably the rarest, along with Yesterday. You know, and the Magical Mystery Tour EPs too, which I'll get to here in a little bit. And this one's in wonderful condition. And here's the record, original variation with the sold in UK text. And the songs on here are Nowhere Man, Drive My Car, Side 2, Michelle, You Won't See Me, and now I'm going to take you on a magical mystery tour, showing you all copies, all original pressings of the Magical Mystery Tour EP that I have. 3 are in stereo and 3 are in mono. The top 3 are in stereo, so I'm going to show you the stereo ones first. Here's copy number 1. Stereo. Quickly breeze. I'm not going to go through every page, but every page is intact. And there's the blue lyric sheet, indicates it's an original. If you have a copy of this EP and it has, and the lyric page is in yellow, that's a later variation. But if you want the first variation, it's got to have the blue lyric sheet. And also the record needs to look like this. This one has the first pressing variation, the Soden UK text, and this is a push-out center. And this one it's in wonderful condition. It's got dust on it, of course, and that's because I haven't cleaned it yet. But this one's in wonderful condition, like I said, and this one's in stereo. On record 1, you have the title song Magical Mystery Tour and Your Mother Should Know. Side 2, I Am the Walrus. I'm going to take record 2 out of here. Here's record 2. Same variation. On this record, you have the Foo on the Hill, Flying, and Blue Jay Way. I remember getting this one for a nice price. And I've been going crazy buying many copies of this Magical Mystery Tour UK EP. And I wanted to make sure that these are original pressings, pressed during the 60s in England. Here's my second copy of the Magical Mystery Tour EP, also in stereo. Blue lyric page on this copy. All pages intact on this copy. None of these EPs have pages that were torn, I'm happy to say. This one's a solid center variation. And this copy happens to be an oddity because record 1 is the solid center, but record 2 is the push-out center copy. Here's my final stereo copy of the EP, original. Once again, just flip through the pages. I just mentioned not so long ago that none of the EPs here have pages that were torn out. Unfortunately, this copy, I just noticed, is missing the blue lyric pages. That they were torn out by the previous owner, sorry to say. All you have on this copy, when you flip to this page, is a famous photo of the Beatles performing I Am the Walrus in the film. And there's also some writing on here. Someone wrote record 1 here. Record 2. Show you this one real quick. Same variation. Record 2. show you copy number 1 in mono. Same thing. None of the pages were ripped out. The records are placed in this black inner sleeve. Let me show you a close-up of the record. This copy is actually in nice condition. Early variation of the mono EP. Here's record 2. Another copy of the Magical Mystery Tour EP in mono. This one I believe was a record store find. Not in perfect condition. Sadly, it's got some writing. And here's a record, record 1, the same variation. And record 2. And here's my final copy of the Magical Mystery Tour EP, also in mono. And since it's the last copy, let me show you every page. I hope you're not tired of seeing this EP. Go through the book page by page. I don't think a page is missing on this copy, which is a good thing. Even though I love the book attached to this EP, I like the book attached to the Capitol album more, only because the book is larger. But despite that, I still love this UK EP. It's real cool. Okay, quickly show you the records. Record 1 and record 2. This last UK EP I'm going to show you was not released in England back in the 60s. This was released as a bonus EP to the Beatles EP collection Blue Box. This is the only one in the blue box that I'm going to show you for this video. I did do a video showing the EP collection box set. I show you the CD and the vinyl one. I might do another video showing you the CD and the vinyl box sets in the future, but for now I'm going to show you this one as a bonus. This is just simply titled The Beatles. And this one's in stereo. And here's the back of it. All 4 songs here are in true stereo. The Inner Light. This was the first time the song was released in true stereo. Baby You're a Rich Man. This was originally released on the German stereo pressing of Magical Mystery Tour, the album. She's a Woman with a Count In from Paul. This version of She's a Woman was available on the Beatles box issued by World Records. And the last song, This Boy. Before this EP, This Boy was released in fake stereo, but a true stereo mix of This Boy appears on this EP for the first time. Okay, that wraps up this video showing you the Beatles UK EP collection. I hope you all enjoyed seeing all of the EPs in this video. And stay tuned for more videos like I always say. Talk to you all later. Thank you for watching.